Do you unmute? Unmute.
We can start it at 4. You can mute it for now.
Mute for now?
Yeah.
Unmuted.
Welcome everybody to the last session of this Deepfake project evaluation and benchmarking of deepfake and video injection attack by age assurance system. So yeah, the goal of this project is to, this session basically is to brainstorm ideas how we can evaluate and benchmark deepfake attacks. So current evaluation metrics for age assurance system is we have different stages in age assurance system, like document verification, face match, facial age estimation. So another additional step which the proposed project is going to have is the deepfake detection system. So the main output we are expecting here is if the system detects if it is a deepfake or not, and how we would evaluate that. It's going to be the false acceptance rate, false rejection rate, and how we will benchmark it according to a standard.
Yeah. Well, I would have a similar approach to what is done in PED in biometrics, which a PED attack, the presentation attack detection standard, which is 30107 part 3, where they do testing and reporting of the presentation attack detection for for biometric systems, but with the caveat that we use this, we change this approach towards age assurance, which doesn't have ID but has age, and also focus on the age to remove, so to be unbiased towards age. So because current systems, old systems, age assurance detection, attack detection systems, every system is trained always on the data that doesn't include any minors, any children. Therefore, it's very biased towards it. So it's going to be performing badly, not necessarily badly, but definitely going to be deviating in performance for children compared to the adults. So I would say that I would take the testing and reporting standard for biometric precision attack detection, have the same error rates, the same similar classification in terms of like difficulty of attack, because they have these categories of attack that they use there. Have similar categories of attack, difficulty for synthetic data, like some are easy to create, some are harder to create. And then for each category, compute this BPCR, like they call it BPCR, but it's a false reject, false accept rate. And also, but do it by age category. So for each age category is like what Patrick was presenting for the needs evaluation of the different demographics and gender. Here we should do evaluation of these detection systems for different ages, from below 13, above 13, below 18, above 18, and so on. And see that we kind of have, and what in each category, how much we the detection rate, false positive, false negative rates, and then we have aggregate values that is single value that somehow we aggregate weighted aggregated value. Like there is also like this if you want to have one value, typically if you have false accept, false reject, you can do half error rates. This one is we use it a lot. I don't know if it's prevalent. When you add 2 and divide add false accept plus false reject divided by 2.
Like the balance factor. Yeah.
It's not balanced because it's a test. So you just have your system is usually have a threshold, and then you have above threshold, below threshold. You count false accept rate, false reject rate. Then you add these 2 rates and divide by 2. So it's like half rate. So it's just one value instead of 2. But it tells you like if it's 50% that your system is terrible. If it's below system 50%, it's getting better, but you don't know better in what sense. So you still have to look at each of them individually if you want to see, do you have too much false accept or you have too much false reject? So that's one way. The other way is to do one value. They have a fixed false accept, and then count the other. They create another. They compute another one. So if I say we want to make sure that false accept no more than 1%, let's count false reject. Yeah, it is like called something at something. This also for biometric is very popular. So they say,
Yeah, but when you have the fixed false accept, false reject, that tends to be the match of performance. Like when my 795 saying, does it incorrect to accept or reject on a match? Don't tend to use that in the presentation tag. That uses the APPCR and PPCR.
yeah, that's what they use. Similar.
They're not necessarily directly related.
No, they're not related. No,
It
no.
depends on the attack instrument.
Right, attack instrument. Yes, that's what I meant. The category, but yeah, attack instrument. But for synthetic data, we can also create a version of attack instrument because some synthetic data is much easier to do than the other. So I would also make it like an attack instrument type. Like elaborate, if it's very elaborate attack, then maybe it's a more harder category than you have I don't know, different, for this categories have to be different related. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, but it's attack instrument, the same type approach. But yeah, it's BPCR, APCR, that's I would use the similar terminology, maybe because they have presentation everywhere. So P is from presentation. So instead here is D. So APCR, ADCR, BDCR, so deepfake instead of P, and that's it.
How you get the deepfake in, that's the always critical factors. How you, the only real viable delivery of this is the deepfake in the injection.
No, not yes, everything else is presentation. Yes, yes. But you can have this mixed monster that kind of you present deepfake, which is a presentation attack, but you're using synthetic data. Will it? Yeah, it shouldn't matter.
I saw someone who was like doing that. They're putting deepfakes onto
iPad.
iPad. So I'm detecting this iPad. I don't care if it's a real person or a synthetic person or just me. It's going to go back to an iPad.
Yes.
Regardless of what's on it, it's detecting that it's an iPad, not that it's deepfake on an iPad.
Right. So yeah, if you have a correct but this is you're assuming the presentation attack detection system is doing its job.
That's first thing you test before you get as far as you can get any deepfake on an iPad. Does it detect that it's in any old iPad?
Yes.
It was one of the kind of classic mistakes we see with people doing biometric testing. Oh, let's do this thing. It's like you need to check that those other basics already work.
Right,
It
exactly.
relies on those things working. So we have definitely seen issues with vendors where we've obviously done an attack they didn't really train it on. So we turned up with photographs and cutouts and masks and things, and it kind of worked. But put it on an iPad, 40% of the time it got through. And clearly had not trained it on what happens if you wave an iPad at it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if I put a deepfake on it, I just put your face on it and it was happy to accept it.
Right. Yeah, but that means but I don't know, are they presentation like detector?
Well, there's a failure with that presentation attack. You didn't detect it, not waving an iPad in front of it.
As you say, deepfake or not.
Deepfake or not.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter. Yeah. So you are right in that case.
You have to do those ones first.
Yes.
So if it's not detecting that it's an iPad, then I can get deepfake in, but just because of the
Yes.
iPad detection is failing, not the deepfake.
Yes, you're right.
So as part of the question, you're assuming that the presentation attack detection has failed and that this is a successful injection attack?
No, injection is different.
No, I realize that. Are you assuming in terms of this actual scenario, then like quantifying this vulnerability, like are you assuming both of those have failed?
Assuming which in which scenario that when I pass through, so there are two types of attacks. One is a presentation, another one you don't have a sensor. Injection means you kind of like you stream the thing directly into the system. So if in the ideal scenario, you need to have both systems installed to detect presentation first and then the synthetic data second. So if you fail both of them, then yes, that's a scenario you can fail. But this is what your question about?
Well, I thought the question was, what do you do in terms of actually detecting synthetic data? But to Julian's point, you will only be detecting synthetic data
if you have injection only.
Yeah,
that's true.
So if you had has failed, sorry, if it's not had, and you are doing a successful injection attack.
Yes, only if you do successful injection attack. Then there's this deepfake detection makes sense. Yes, because if you have a presentation attack system correctly working, you are not afraid of any means, because if you're presenting anything to camera, it should be detected by that system. So who cares if it's synthetic data or not? That's true. You only care about synthetic data if you have injection attack successfully implemented, which means like a virtual camera or something. Well, it should be not that hard to do. I mean, in a Zoom meeting, you can have you select the camera in the Zoom, right? You can say select that one, and that one will generate you live deepfake feed. So in that case, yes. But actually, the interesting thing is like what I wish kind of recently discussed. So the thing is that if you have age insurance system and you don't have ID, you don't have a biometric system, you just have age insurance system. If you can perform injection attack, that means you don't need synthetic data. You can just the data of anybody real and you will fool it 100%. So it's kind of dumb.
I don't need to make it out. I just need someone who looks at the target age.
Yes. So yeah, I wonder how that's supposed to work in real life scenario. Does it mean that in a real scenario, if you assume injection attacks are possible, that means you have to pair in the biometric system with age verification system. Otherwise,
Or you've got to have something that can detect.
what? Injection attack.
You've got to have the injection.
Then it's not related to data. It's something else. It's cybersecurity now. So.
Or did you mean a user switch?
But challenge response, right? So if somebody's injecting in a virtual camera or some hack of the electronics, if you can inject the signal in there, then you do challenge response and you say, open your mouth. Or something more.
So liveness detection.
Or you start flashing lights, the eye group.
Yeah.
Or you get some challenge.
Then it's
Now,
also
if that challenge is machine readable, then whoever's doing the injection can read it and respond. If it's intelligible and then
but you can have a person of old age doing it in front of you, or young age or whatever, right?
That's when in terms of that kind of injection, I can't just get a screen grab of any old person on the internet. I have to have
A real person.
a real person or a deepfake or something that can respond in real time.
Right, respond real time. Yes.
right. So if I take your picture now and then I inject it, okay, it would defeat the age estimation system.
Right.
Okay. But I then challenge it to take off your glasses and I don't have a picture of him with his.
Yes. Then you'd fail. So, but it means that the system should have something else. It's not just an age verification. You have to have this challenge system or something.
Have some presentation capability that takes into account that you could, depending on the deployment. I mean, like you said, the classic problem is web-based because it relies on the browser camera.
Yeah.
And I can set up anywhere I like. It doesn't care. It's more difficult with mobile devices. You've got to be a bit more smarter with Android, much harder on iPhones.
Yeah.
There's a level of sophistication that you need. Makes it harder, but web-based, anybody can do that. Just download OBS Studio.
Yes. That's right. Yeah.
So you need the capability on the end, or you're just doing that analysis to know what the likely vulnerability capabilities are. But if I'm allowed web streaming, okay, I'm going to have to do something.
Yes, to challenge
it, because it could be any old garbage.
Yeah. Right. So deepfakes become useful in a specific scenario to circumvent those type of challenge systems or biometric systems. Because in deepfakes, if you have like a good deepfake, you can also preserve the identity.
Yeah.
And change the age. You can do that.
Yeah, the question in the biometric is how much do I need a deepfake? I need to look like a target. I only need to really deepfake it if I'm trying to defeat the presentation attack. So the match is going to take it off. One of the skills of the video feeds is match. And it's going to match because it's basically the person I want to match is defeating the presentation attack capability.
Right.
Deepfake is useful for if you can inject it.
Right. You can inject. So yeah. But yeah, this is basically this. So scenario is quite narrow, I would say. But in that scenario, the evaluation of detection system is, I would say, it's similar to PD system, the presentation attack detection system. The evaluations is the same. The error rates, attack instrument, all those things I would say apply.
The interesting thing with age estimation
Yeah,
is different from biometric presentation attack is the biometric, I'm trying to look like a target subject, like I'm trying to like
right.
something else. But it's an age estimation thing. I don't need, because like I said, there's no reference.
No, no reference. Yeah,
I just need to look target age.
right,
So I can just use me as the canvas.
right. To DH, you DH yourself.
I can
Yes.
DA myself, which would be nice.
Yeah.
But I'm more classically thinking of, I can probably make 15-year-olds look 20 with appropriate amount of makeup.
Yes, probably makeup. Yeah.
That's going to be the classic attack, isn't it? Fly makeup.
Which I felt from your data. Actually, that's what happened. I just look at that slide that you showed on the demographic and female male. It looked like the same demographics, the same not demographics, the same ethnicity, but male female was like magnitude order difference.
Yeah.
And I thought, is it possible that because you have presenting 17 years old and checking if it's above 25, is it possible that at 17 years old the males never have facial hair? Well, it's a speculation, but the females, they have makeup already. So they basically, those systems are overfitting on the data, like in a very simple way.
So look, it's an empirical result. We
You don't know, yeah.
haven't looked at cause and effect. And I don't know how to. I really don't want to look at like
Yeah.
20,000 images. And try to figure out
What the difference?
whether a teenage girl is wearing makeup on.
Yeah,
It's just not possible.
but it's such an interesting, starting different in
It's a
terms
big
of
difference.
very big, 2 orders almost of magnitude.
I didn't want to say that out loud.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, it's not really that much of the skin tone. I was expecting to be more variable, but variability was on sex. I mean, not sex, but gender. That's interesting. Right. So yeah. So makeup. That's what I thought. Maybe makeup is the easiest way to do it.
Very far. First thing I'm going to do with these things is apply makeup to see how it feels. That's the easiest thing. It's like the lowest grade attack. Is just going to apply makeup.
Or like a facial accessories, right? I mean, maybe even glasses.
Glasses are good at confusing. Well, we talked about earlier. Well, biometrics then quite good at getting rid of that noise, but the age estimation ones.
Not so good. Yeah. Putting a beard on a child, I'm sure it's going to confuse it too.
I was so talking to earlier, so in the building where we're based, there's a lady as an office upstairs, and she's a world-renowned makeup artist. Her speciality is lashes. She just does what she does now, just lashes. And she used to get flying around the world to fix people's lashes.
Whoa.
It's like that seems very niche, but it's like she's really good at this stuff. So she's talking about ages, and you can really quickly add. You want to add age to people, so don't try to put it too much. So just find what people's natural wrinkles and crow's feet. Just use an eyeliner and just add a little bit of things to it, and I'll suddenly add 10 years to them. You've got to just highlight any kind of aging part, just highlight it a little bit with a very light eye pencil and give it ideas to people's faces.
That's how I got made up this morning.
Well, so that I didn't make it for us. You know.
Yeah, actually, I found my makeup. We did like a makeup database at some point. I finally found that thing, but I need to find the images in my thing.
Yes, an analysis on salient regions for age estimation models on Facebook might explain a lot more what might be causing these variations. Again, if an age estimator's salient features are around an eye, and if you just had the proper makeup there, then that's why.
Yeah, the recognition people have done quite a bit of research trying to explain why the recognition engine does what it does. So they start hiding parts of the image and see what happens to the output. And then you can start manipulating the output and back propagated, which is the input. But those things tend to be quite bewildering. It's like, why did it say that? Because it's a non-linear classifier. It's difficult to explain what is going on. It may be easier for ages to make.
I have the.
Is that 6 fingers?
No, close the chat.
Yeah.
So this is like I'm supposed to be Sylvester Stallone here. This was a makeup artist that we have. Yeah, that one. Yeah, it took woman 40 minutes to do this, but I felt it's a bit not that good, but yeah, I tried. I tried the Sylvester Stallone thing. Yeah, like that maybe wrestling.
You could
Beach
have
weight.
just, you could have just went out the night before.
Yeah. You can do that tonight, imagine.
From both makeup and with the deepfake, face swap, is already having similar facial characteristics to your target makes it so much more effective.
Yes.
You're particularly got the same kind of shape to your face. Not so to some extent colour. I'm not going to pass
Another
on
person.
someone really dark, but you've got just similar colour. It will blend out the colour quite happily. But a similar face shape. So on our deepfake engine, I'm going to get almost perfect right accuracy.
Yes. Did you see my presentations? Did you see my videos that I was showing? Yeah. With the kit is with my kit is also because we're similar. We have similar, yeah. Like if you find a similar shape
Face.
person, face, you will match very well.
Can your kid open your phone? No, I.
Oh yeah, no, actually, this is a great, yeah. No, my phone, no, but I gave my old phone, like iPhone X, so 10, so it's an older model, to my 11 years old, and I have 3 kids, 11, 8, and 5, all of them can open that phone.
There's a statement on Apple website saying.
Oh, they do say that, admitted, okay.
Saying the statistical probability is no longer 1 in a million. For people under the age of 13 and on family members.
Yes, because they don't have a training data set with kids, that's my guess.
My guess is that, face recognition is trained to ignore age variant features on the face.
Yes, they do
So-
also, yes.
So,
And this has come back to my forever gripe over the other thing is it's about what the target operating point is. The point of the lock on the phone is not to stop your brother or your son opening phone, it's to stop me stealing your phone and opening it.
Yeah.
That's its target point, is to stop unrelated people.
We're just dropping it.
Just dropping in the street.
Yes.
Unrelated strangers using my phone. It's not designed.
Yes, it's not.
To protect it from my kids.
But it did surprise me because you kind of get used to this technology and it kind of like, I was like, oh, all of them can open it now. Well, no, but they couldn't open mine, but they can open, maybe the newer one's a bit better in terms of camera and things.
We've got a colleague, she and her sister can open each other's phone.
Oh, okay.
They're 7 years apart.
Oh, quite.
And to a human, they look
Very
very different.
Mhm.
But to the citizen says, no, they're close enough.
My niece, 33 years old, opened her mother's phone, who's 63 years old,
Oh,
on Christmas Day, and I was sitting next to them on the couch. And my niece says casually, "Oh, I just opened the phone." And I was like, "What?" And yeah, I've heard anecdotally, but this is 2 out.
yeah, 2 adults, it's even, yeah, that's interesting.
I thought it was designed to protect it.
Yeah, it's a good.
Yeah, but that means also the age insurance system, you have to train it differently, right? So to focus on that variability, so the age should be focused, but ignoring everything else. Like identity and
I would argue that a good age estimation model has to ignore age invariant features.
age estimation.
If it keeps age invariant features as salient, then that model might as well be reverse engineered to do identification.
Mm. Yes.
So. Looking at the other. Samples, you know, if this is a neural network model, especially the samples should be selected carefully to accurately reflect that.
Yeah. All right. So what else we can talk about?
So, is there anyone can explain how the model detect whether this video or photo is deepfaking?
Explain. No.
Like, we need to detect whether this video is
Fake or not? Yeah.
yeah. So how the model can? Is there any?
There's a number of ways to do that. There's a couple of companies that do this, and there's some research at the university.
Explainable. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
That do it, and they do. But the basic principle is deepfakes create two perfect faces. You take a good quality picture of the people, their skin has very little consistency at a very small level.
Mhm.
It changes all the time. The deepfake engines don't create that. It's much more uniform. So the imperfections that you see in skin do not appear in deepfake images. And basically do a bunch of heat map analysis, almost pixel analysis. What's the relationship between this color and the ones next to it? And they get a map of like these bits on the face seem too consistent, that don't match up with the kind of distribution you see in natural people.
But they assume a very high resolution images, which is not.
The training data for the synthesizers, the deepfake generators is being pulled from the internet and it's being JPEG compressed. And often at lower resolution
Yes.
than you would get off a
phone. And the other thing we found when they put it on the internet, it's usually ones that people have filtered. So they filtered it, and which has already flattened lots of their kind of facial features and their colours. So the images on Instagram doesn't actually represent their real physical characteristics.
I do that when I post.
But it also depends what you mean by deepfake. Is it an image generator or it's the video swap or what type?
Yeah.
So I would also, yeah, I don't know. It's like synthetic image generator, you mean, right? That's where the imperfections are not being present.
Either, because both will render, which is a question whether you're rendering a video sequence, a single image, or rendering it in real time.
Because, for example, I have this guy. They're quite good, I think, in this type of a guy. I mean, they're quite. Because they are not high resolution already, so you have a very good. Well, in the screen is hard to see. Let me see the image based. Wait. This is a.
But you're showing two real faces swapped as opposed to.
Yes, that's what I mean. That's what I asked. Like, what's the difference? What the point? What is the?
So in terms of most of the stuff we see in deepfakes is you're swapping to look like somebody else. I was trying to look like Rowan Atkinson because I want to pass Rowan Atkinson.
Yeah.
And the advantage of aid estimations, I don't even need to do that. I could just
Yeah.
be more subtle. I could just keep my
Yes.
face and have it older, just bits of it to make me look older or younger, depending on what pocket I'm trying to get myself put into.
Right. That's much easier.
They're much easier.
Yeah, much
And then
easier.
I can, the more of my actual face I leave unaffected, the less likely the detection systems will see.
We'll check it. Yeah. Well, definitely true. Yeah. But for swapping, it also depends on the like for the GAN generate images depends on the resolution as well a lot. Like the resolution varies depending on the model.
Yeah, and it all depends on how much data you've got. So, like,
Yeah.
everybody's probably seen like the Tom Cruise.
Yes, the Tom Cruise one. Yeah.
But the issue with that is there's two people. One, the person doing it, whether they put swap the body onto is a Tom Cruise impersonator.
Yeah, he looks
mostly
similar.
like Tom
Yeah.
Cruise, and he has the mannerisms of Tom Cruise.
Yes.
That gives the cues, social cues you're saying that Tom Cruise are fooled by the body language.
Yes.
And two, it takes them about 3 months and about $100,000 to make that video. That's a very high end attack.
He does also manual job there to cut all to remove all the artifacts.
It's a very intensive thing. So it looks very convincing because it's just a lot of time and money and to do it, which is not really a scalable attack. And it's viable, in what is very unique use case.
It's targeted, yeah.
But it's very targeted and not something you can scale. So like stuff that we've been doing is like, can I, instead of having these hundreds of hours of footage, can I get 1 to 3 photos of somebody and create a good enough deepfake on that to fool these systems? That's a more viable attack I can scale. I can grab that from your Insta or your LinkedIn and stuff, feed it into the thing, produce a model and throw it at the system if I can inject it. That's a more scalable attack.
What you're saying also rhymes very strongly with proportionality. How much of a countermeasure should we employ so that a child cannot access to an adult website?
They're not spend 100 grand a year on deepfake, are
Probably not, probably not. But in a previous session, in a previous session,
Yeah,
I've heard from a representative from the tobacco industry, I think.
different types.
They launched something in Philippines, and the earlier hours, what they launched is a voucher that is worth something $100 or something, right? And 35% of the traffic was outright deepfake injection attempts. I guess the attempt must cost the attacker less than 100 to be incentivized enough to do that.
Was it on the phone? Was it using a phone?
I'm oblivious to the details, but probably it's some.
So it's one of the things, the difference between the cost to develop the attack and the cost to implement it. So those to create the deepfake engines to make these things, it's like it takes months of work to build it. But once you've built an engine, you can then just start feeding stuff. So in that case, it's probably somebody spent a few months making an engine, but now I have to feed in tens of thousands of places, and it just spew out tens of thousands of new deepfakes.
The
marginal cost.
Don't argue what's assigned that way, yeah.
Yeah,
So it's a lateral thought. Why don't we go to the Google guy and tell them to build in near IR illuminators
Right.
in the phone, so that you can take a selfie that's not just a selfie, it's a selfie plus.
illumination pattern.
iPhones are halfway there because they've got the Face ID thing. It's the infrared illuminator for the soft passengers.
So what we need an imaging standard for pad-enabled selfie.
Yeah, that does a special pattern that they can read later, like a watermark, but lighter mark,
Yeah, but
infrared light mark.
you could almost standardize
You
some
can.
bits of equipment that would enable detectors to do a bit better than they can at the moment.
Yeah.
And we should get Ofcom to give us lots of money to do it.
No, but you're talking about phones. What about the other cameras, right? The laptop, you have to put it everywhere.
Still at the project on, I don't know, with what hardware, but they were somehow seeing the heat map of fluctuations on the face.
Yeah.
Watching they're monitoring blood flow.
Yeah.
Blood
to
flow,
see-
yeah.
to see if it's
Yeah.
flushing the face when you move.
We also did that as well.
That may be causing noise in age estimate.
Yes.
It may be.
Yeah.
Also, doesn't help if you apply a foundation blusher.
Yeah, exactly. There are a lot of issues with RGB is hard. You need to have the near infrared basically. But also with near infrared sensor, if you have it, you can detect all the surfaces immediately. So all the presentation attacks are gone. That's what we had. You know this Bria, not Bria, the Battle project, the Odin Tor project, IARPA. We were part. We were part of it, I guess. So that's what I think. In the end, our team kind of got to the final of that project, and the reason why, because they put the near infrared sensor, so they caught all the attacks. All the iPads and phones were flat and pictures because you don't see anything in there. So it's a flat screen. So it's infrared solved. The sensor solved all the presentation attacks almost problems, except the glasses. They had like a carton from the paper glasses that they were also considering an attack. That was harder to do. But with the injection attacks, you can't, unless you do. Yeah, I don't know. With injection attacks, you can't do much. Probably.
You have to inject randomness. into the challenge.
In the challenge response and check delay. Because you can do live deepfake now, you can. You can do real time, but it's not real time with a small delay, but you can do it.
Difficult to do on the phone. If the delay.
No, on the phone, no, you need to have a GPU right now.
Yes.
We wanted to do a demo.
When you're using the ID platform, is that yes, there'll be a delay because you've got to be training a deepfake, but it doesn't know the delay is because you're using a deepfake engine. Delay could be because it thinks you're using a mobile device and there's some over the air. But having a delay doesn't necessarily mean it's a deepfake. It could be a connection.
Yeah, it may not. But you can do it on device.
Yeah.
So if you do it on device, you have more control and delay you can put into account as well. Then maybe a bit easier. I don't know.
Yeah, and things bundled into an app on device is inherently harder to fool because you've now got all the hardware rather than fool all the base. I think the web rate, screens is okay.
Yeah, this is actually I can show the variations. This is the variations of the development process of deepfake. You can see. You see, like it took some time to figure out the good parameters to have a good swap. Because you can see all these ugly mistakes. I mean, it's not easy to have a good. It takes time and skill and expertise. I mean, if you start from scratch.
Yeah.
It takes time to figure it out, and then once you figure it out, this becomes quite streamlined. Then you can use almost the same approach for everyone. It works relatively well, right? Then, if new model comes out, you spend another time figuring it out. But once you tune to it, you can again streamline the process. So yeah, that's what you mean by creating an engine. Once you create that process set up, you can scale. Right.
I want to show something about a filter.
The filter.
Yeah.
Do you have this? Can you
Yeah.
access to that thing?
Yeah. You can. Let me share the.
Stop sharing.
Okay. Let me try. If I can share the screen on my phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give a second.
So,
Yeah.
This is a Douyin with a Chinese TikTok, and this is hundreds of filters in that. So this is the old filter. I think there's one way to detect whether this is you can call it like a live.
Occlusion. Yeah, occlusion. You have occlusion and then it's not detected.
Yeah. So you can ask the participants to cover the camera and then overlay. So there's like a deep, small, short delay.
Because there's no occlusion, the occlusion fools the face detection, so
Yeah.
they cannot do the
Yeah,
filter.
to see if you are really using some deep data.
That's a point. That's a good point too. Yeah.
Yeah.
But interaction seems to be the challenge response seems to be the one of the the approaches to do this basically.
But the only reason that is a problem is because it's at zero latency. Whereas if you were to introduce latency on that, then it could retrospectively do the mapping and then avoid missing a couple of frames.
Probably should chop the frames in the maze.
Yeah, you would just
Emulate a poor connection.
yeah, exactly. That's true. Well, we're talking about such a clever people.
Simple as that.
Patrick was saying, when we do presentation tag for like in real one, you can do like challenge response. So one of them is to make them smile. So all we did was get a pair of lips, cut them out, and put them on a stick. And when it said smile, we just held it in front of the mask and took it away again.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, that worked, that's fine. You smiled.
I would expect that result to be working, yeah. Or like when people say turn their head around, you can just have these sticks. So that side, on that side, yeah. Profile faces this way, profile that way, front, finished.
You can do the photograph, it's really quick.
Yeah.
You fasten the camera and say, oh, turn left, just get.
Yeah.
Went a photograph way and then it's fine. It's got to be really quick.
I'd love to see the point of that on mapping of photographs.
Yeah.
With just like floating up.
Yeah. It just looks, and that's the thing, you don't really know what these things are looking for. They're just looking for a smile to appear on your face and it captures an image of the face. So it's just waiting for you to smile, so it doesn't care whether you just naturally smile or automatically appear on stick.
You prioritize that, right? Smile and stick.
Smile.
Smile with
How about wanted?
Yeah.
Right. We can be done. So a lot of questions, no solutions.
You're all ruined. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
very
you.
much.
Right.
Yeah.